the city of Philadelphia is now offering an apology for what they did to inmates some years ago. Let's put up the picture. We have an aerial shot here. The city of Philadelphia issued last Thursday a formal apology for unethical human experiments conducted on mostly black prisoners at Holmesburg prison. This prison was known as the Terror Dome. During its heyday, it was a source of extreme violence. It is now inactive. But between the 1950s and the 1970s, it was the site of horrid experimentation conducted by a University of Pennsylvania faculty member. I got the details. Approximately 300 men were exposed to herpes, fungus, asbestos, LSD, skin blistering chemicals, radioactive isotopes, and many more. Even components connected to Agent Orange. University of Pennsylvania, let's put them up. Dermatologist, Dr. Albert K. Kligman is known for patenting acne medication, Retin-A, conducted these experiments from 1951 to 1974, made a bunch of money. Johnson & Johnson, Dow Chemicals, and the US Army were just some of the many sponsors of these underground human experiments led by that doctor. Later in his life, Dr. Kligman would say, and I quote, "Shutting the prison experiments down was a big mistake." Kligman forcibly removed the subjects' thumbnails and infected them with ringworm, among other chilling trials that left the subjects wounded and disoriented. Most of these incarcerated individuals were not sentenced, and they were actually awaiting trial. The prison used their desperation for bail money to get them to agree to these abusive experiments, usually paying the subjects $1 a day. After obtaining 1,800 pages of Pentagon records, the Inquirer published a report in 1979 detailing a contract between Penn and the US Army, with Dr. Kligman at the helm of the research. More than 300 inmates tested mind control drugs and potential skin hardeners to protect soldiers from chemical warfare. In the latter experiments, the paper found inmates complained bitterly of side effects, including inflammation that lasted weeks and eventually eliminated the willingness of the subjects to go on. So even with them being in an incarcerated environment, having no access to resources, and this experiment being placed in front of them like a dangling carrot, they even came to the conclusion that it was not worth what their bodies were experiencing because of these experiments. How diabolical is this? We're just getting the full story of what happened to these individuals. Experiment survivors, like this man. Leotis Jones will leave the prison and become an influential activist and community leader, bearing scars from the experiments for the rest of his life. He had been told he was being injected with a rare disease from India. By 2000, close to 300 former prisoners who reported injuries from the experiments would then sue the city, Penn and Dr. Kligman. The suit missed the statute of limitations, even as Kligman continued to receive accolades for his advancements in dermatology. Well, here's what I'm going to do, sir. I am going to attempt to set the record straight and provide absolute context for how you got the legacy you enjoy today. I hope you appreciate it. Let's put his picture up. Kligman died 10 years later, February 2010, legacy of being a champion for advancements as it relates to skincare. That legacy has benefited not only him personally when he was living, but also his family and many companies today. After demands by activists last Thursday, the mayor, Jim Kenney, said without excuse, we formally and officially extend a sincere apology to those who are subjected to this inhumane and horrific abuse. Good for you, Mayor. I got some words for you. Where's the money? Where is the compensation? Damn your apology without remedy. You know exactly what happened here. Now, while you were not the one who oversaw this, it is your problem to fix. It doesn't have to be your fault, sir, to be your responsibility. You decided to be mayor, you wanted the job, now you have it. Leadership comes with criticism and hard decisions. You volunteered for this post, you wanted it, you got it. It's your problem now, solve it. The University of Penn, the Journal of the American Medical Association Dermatology, and Penn Medicine are all struggling with what to do with the legacy of Dr. Kligman. Oh my gosh, what do we do? How do we solve this? I mean, we benefited so much as a society because of the experiments he did on individuals who were human beings. What do we do? Tell the truth. He set the record straight. The people he violated were human. Think about it this way. Do whatever you would do. Respond the way you would normally respond if somebody did it to a person you loved. So they are now considering taking away various honors, including professorships named after Dr. Kligman. They also issued an apology of their own, renamed the annual lecture, which bore his name, and pulled funds that would have normally been allocated in his name, and now will be giving them to dermatology residents working with people of color and their skin issues. Some monies will also be directed into fellowships for soon-to-be dermatologists who are interested in working with dark skin. Not enough. What are you doing for the families? What are you doing for the families who are connected to these individuals who were temporarily incarcerated? What are you doing for them, those who are still surviving? This story is not over. All right, Jeff, thoughts here.
You know, while apologies and admissions of guilt are great, and it's more than some in this situation are going to get, sadly, I'm sure this isn't the only prison population that's been experimented on. As you stated clearly, a lot of entities need to come up out their pockets in order to fill the pockets of the others whose family members were suffering. These men were suffering. I also want to add, because I'm sure somewhere somebody's gonna be like, well, A, they were paid pennies on the dollars for it, and B, they agreed to it. No. These men were desperate for money in order to get out of their situation. And so they agreed, not knowing exactly what was gonna happen to them. They were suffering.
Yeah.
And so now moving forward, yeah. When it comes to his legacy, take it down. We don't need his name on buildings or his name on scholarships or anything like that. While you're doing it, tell everybody what's going on and how they came to be. His fortune came from some really messed up situations off the back of a lot of black men, just like much of US history. So take him down.
And remember, according to the narrative, they were told it was something else. They weren't told what this was really about. They were tricked, and there's a doctrine in contract law that talks about unequal bargaining power. You don't get more equal than having basically the director of a jail tell you, you must do this or this is gonna happen to you. All right, that's unequal bargaining power.